The president lied about his poll numbers after his speech in Iowa, where farmers are hurting from his trade policies. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. Iowa is an awkward place for Trump to be right now because there are a lot of farmers there who've been hurt by his trade war with China. Although really, any place is an awkward place to be for Trump just in general. He's the only person I've ever seen who looks out of place every place. I mean, he never looks comfortable no matter where he is. He's always drenched in sweat. His tie is always down to his junk. And even when he's at the White House, surrounded by microphones, he stands with his chest puffed out like a penguin trying to scare away a predator. I mean, if that wasn't on CNN, you'd think it was Animal Planet. And if you take a look at this little fellow, he senses his nest is being threatened and puffs out his chest, all the while using his ample backside to protect his precious eggs. Trump's trade war comes after he spent years as a candidate and president courting farmers in the Midwest. For example, during the campaign, Trump couldn't be bothered to actually come up with a specific plan to help farmers or Midwestern states, so instead he just claimed he loved Iowa so much he might just buy a farm and move there.
Iowa, we love you. We thank you. You're special. We will be back many, many times. In fact, I think I might come here and buy a farm. I love it, okay? Iowa. I love Iowa. We've really hit a note with the evangelicals. We've hit a note with the Tea Party and with just the people of Iowa. I'm all over the place. I like it. I love it. Maybe I'll just I think I'm going to buy a farm and settle down over here. Right? No, I think I will. A medium-sized farm, because I don't know if I want to work that hard, right?
All right, first of all, I can't imagine Trump as a farmer. They'd have to put tractor wheels on his golf cart. I mean, the closest he's ever come is the farmer's tan he has under his eyes. But also, I do need to ask, what is going on with this voice here?
With just the people of Iowa. I'm all over the place. I like it. I love it.
Sounds like Gilbert Gottfried after inhaling helium and sitting on his own balls. And seriously, how do we end up with a president who sounds like Jar Jar Binks?
I like it. I love it.
Oh, muy, I love you.
I mean, it's not... But Trump can't even talk in a coherent way about legitimate issues that really do matter to farmers and people in rural areas, like expanding broadband access. Trump tried to discuss it in his speech last night, and it was so hard to follow what he was saying that even Fox Business Network cut away.
We secured nearly $1.2 billion to expand rural broadband, which you need very badly. You need very badly. They have not treated the Midwest well with broadband, with anything having to do with the word computer. I look at some of those tractors and they don't even hook up. They're all set, but you don't have the capability here in terms of your
We're going to talk with our panel about a lot of what the president's been saying. He's offering a lot of fodder for discussion.
I mean, that was the TV version of rolling up your car window. Oh, man, this guy is really rambling. Yes, no squeegee, thank you. No, goodbye. Thank you, goodbye. The thing that's so weird about Trump is you can tell there are bits and pieces of real information there that he half remembers from a briefing he wasn't really paying attention to, and then when he tries to describe it, he's only capable of spitting out a few key words, like when Trump said this.
I look at some of those tractors and they don't even hook up.
I mean, that came from something real. But he talks about it like tractors literally have a giant hole for a plug labeled internet hookup. So now Trump's trade policies are hurting him in Midwestern states that he won in 2016. In fact, Trump's poll numbers in key states are apparently so bad, he's told his aides to straight up pretend they don't exist. The New York Times reported that after being briefed on a devastating 17-state poll conducted by his campaign pollster, Trump told aides to deny that his internal polling showed him trailing Joe Biden in many of the states he needs to win. I wouldn't be surprised if they were making up new states just to cheer him up. Good news, Mr. President, you're winning big in Old Jersey, East Dakota, Californication, and Blorf. Today, during a meeting in the Oval Office, Trump doubled down on his lie about polling But it was especially gross because he did it during a meeting with the president of Poland, where there's growing concern over the decline of democratic institutions. After Trump attacked polls and the media, he and the Polish president were both asked about those concerns and shrugged them off, although Trump didn't really seem to know much about it.
They were fake polls that were either put out by the corrupt media, because much of the media in this country, unfortunately, is corrupt. I have to tell you that, Mr. President.
How concerned are you about backsliding on democracy in Poland, and will that be a...
I'm not concerned. I know the president very well. I know the people and the leadership of Poland very well. I'm not concerned at all. You may want to say something about that.
Someone cheated you. Sorry. Someone cheated you. There is no problems with democracy in Poland, really. Everything is excellent.
That's what I hear.
Oh, that's what you hear? Do you mean that's what you just heard? He just lets other people talk and then chimes in when he agrees. He's the Ed McMahon of presidents. Of course, it's early. Well, Sal, I think you'll agree I was right on that one. I went to the mat for that joke, and I think we'll agree I was right and you were wrong. It's so funny they forgot to make any noise. They laughed so hard it went backwards. Right you are, sir. Oh, good. Of course, it's early, and we should be skeptical that Trump's loyal base will suddenly desert him. But there have at least been a few anecdotal reports of voters in the Midwest who back Trump having second thoughts, as one Ohio farmer explained in an interview with CNN.
We're in a free fall out here in agriculture. Those tariff dollars come directly from American importers, from American companies that hire American workers, that pay American taxes. And then they turn around and push that out to consumers to pay. And why the farming community has to take one in the shorts just so that the president can have a talking point and be tough on China, just is a little bit beyond me.
Wow, you know Trump would hate to hear that, although I bet his staff goes through his DVR and dubs over any negative news coverage of him.
I like it. I love it.
Also, it should be noted that farmer laid out a clearer and more articulate explanation of how tariffs work and why they're hurting farmers than the President of the United States ever has in his life. In fact, compare that answer to what Trump said about his China tariffs during a meandering phone interview with CNBC on Monday. We'll even add subtitles so you can try to follow what he's saying.
China very much wants to make a deal. They want to make a deal much more than I do. But we'll see what happens. And just remember, they're charging us tariffs. You know, some of the folks that I really like, but some of the senators, they'll come to me, well, sir, it's not really good because it's not free market. Like you take India where they're charging 100%. And by the way, 100% is nothing compared to what some companies charge. You know, France charges us a lot for the wine. And yet we charge them very little for French wine. So the wineries come to me and they say, sir, the California guys, they come, sir, we're paying a lot of money to put our product into France, and you're letting, meaning this country is allowing these French wines, which are great wines, but we have great wines too, allowing it to come in for nothing.
What are you talking about? How did you go from China to senators to India to French wine? Did you drink some French wine? You're rambling like a tourist in Napa who didn't realize that after you taste the wine, you're supposed to spit it out. I mean, is that why you're standing like you're about to fall flat on your face? Trump is clearly nervous about the impact his tariffs are having because he's backed away from a threat this week to impose tariffs on Mexico. And to justify that choice, Trump has been claiming that there's a secret component to the Mexico deal that he can't talk about. Yesterday, he waved around a piece of paper he claimed contained a secret deal he couldn't show reporters. And on Monday, he made a similar claim during his phone interview with CNBC.
Can you go into exactly what else was part of that deal that you haven't really outlined yet?
Well, I'm going to tell you that most people understand that. The people having to do with borders and illegal immigration and immigration of any kind, they understand exactly what that is. But we purposely said we wouldn't mention it for a little while. It's going to be brought up because it has to be brought by their legislative body. It's got to be taken to a vote. So we didn't bring it up. But most people know that answer, Joe.
The nicest thing you can say about Trump is that he always makes it obvious when he's lying. In fact, if you're ever wondering how insane a Trump answer is, just imagine it as a response on Final Jeopardy. The clue was, it's the capital of Vermont. James, you answered Montpelier. And Donald, you answered, well, I'm going to tell you that most people understand that the people having to do with Vermont, they understand exactly what that is. But we purposely said we wouldn't mention it for a little while, so we didn't bring it up. But most people know that answer, Alex. And how much did you wager? $11 gazillion. Trump is lying about his poll numbers in places like Iowa and Michigan because his trade policies are hurting him there. It's early, but when it comes to Trump's tariffs, voters definitely aren't saying,
I like it. I love it.
This has been A Closer Look.